So, let's talk about this comic. Canterlot is in full meltdown as sound has completely fled the scene, and the culprit is no mystery. The Muffletta moss is normally safely contained underground and keeps things quiet in small quantities. But sunlight and water cause it to spread uncontrollably, stealing all sound. Cheese Sandwich is naturally bummed about his role in creating this chaos. And it is genuine chaos as fires are starting below and that one pony is carrying a bomb for some reason. Dash tries clearing the Muffletta with a sonic rain boom, which fails. Being awesome isn't working, and that's all she's good at. So with no solution apparent, Twilight tasks her friends with damage control. Fluttershy's animal friends become their eyes, and the main five avert disaster and draw everyone to signs explaining the situation. But Cheese is still glum, and Pinkie takes some time to connect over a shared sadness, followed by shared laughter. Audible laughter, as it turns out that genuine hilarity can kill the moss. Methinks somebody's been watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
One of these days you're gonna die laughing.
They put together a comedy show that creates a growing sound pocket. Realizing this, Twilight immediately summons Canterlot to the show, flexing her royal authority with heavy emphasis on manners. And so the day is saved, with Discord making a quick appearance to say he didn't help out because the ponies needed to do this themselves. Pinkie and Cheese, meanwhile, admit that they've been acting weird around one another and words kept getting in the way. But laughter? Their shared laughter held everything they wanted to say. And so this future couple walks off into the sunset, ringing with laughter and, most important of all, puns. Much of what I talked about Tony Cusisto's work still applies here. Tremendous effort with the backgrounds, expressive ponies, and dynamic angles. But let's talk about one of the newer elements, background ponies. They're a part of the fun setting in any MLP story. Ponies we recognize and celebrate, or new faces that are so detailed they must be a reference. Only problem is, I have no idea what they're referencing. Like these ponies, a metal as frig eye patch, punk cut mane, and how about this guy in a leather jacket with a coat of arms cutie mark? They look great, but I have no idea who they're supposed to be. And this pony, it's a very distinct color scheme, but who is this pony referencing? The Skull Gang from Karate Kid? Kamen Rider's Shocker Troopers? I just don't know. But that's one of the benefits of being in a fandom. I'm confident that if I look around on fandom sites, someone will post an explanation. Whatever the case, I hope creating these ponies for the various panels is a fun event, a chance to slip in some personal humor and creativity amongst the larger story. But what of letter artist Neil Uyutake? In an issue robbed of sound, one would think this wouldn't call for much effort. Yet many seeds feature bold statements like comfort, idea, and its companion, confusion. Catch, grab, tug, hug, sad, touch, connect, hard thinking, intensity, science, math! To talk about these words, we need to do some compare and contrast between MLP issues 23 and 54. Both issues feature a situation where regular dialogue wasn't an option. In the pet-themed issue 23, there wasn't much dialogue at all. Instead, it relied heavily on character expressions and symbology. The more detail in the backgrounds and the expressions, the better we understood what the symbols meant. Except in Gummy's case, but that's intentional. Fast forward to issue 54, which tried something similar but was less effective. I would argue it comes down to the lack of background elements and context. There was less emphasis on symbols and more on overt text to convey the same idea. It wasn't as strong, and it didn't help that the Cutie Mark Crusaders quickly entered the story to restore dialogue. This issue 95 vacillates between the two opposites. Because of Cusisto's art, I have no trouble understanding the situation and the character's feelings. Just look at this panel for Rainbow Dash. Her expression, that small puff, that clever use of her wing as a hand. All of this denotes her ironically stating, "Hold on, I'll show you in a sec." Yet for some reason this comic doesn't trust the reader to understand the situation. So we get these overt words that try to sum things up. Like it needs to say effort, even though I can clearly see that in Rainbow's pose and expression. But just look at these two. Do you really need connect to understand what's going on? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate how they play with the wording, like reversing the letters in confusion, or how sad is presented as a deflating balloon. But by comic's end, I feel like I've been told a situation that I could have easily understood on my own. I have confidence that all of you could as well. Continuing on the Sakaike idea from last issue, much of the story revolves around Pinkie and Cheese forming a bond. Yet that doesn't mean that other characters go to waste. While their introductions last issue were almost an afterthought, we get to see each pony react to this crisis and demonstrate their own solutions. It really drives home just how badly this sudden silence puts every pony at risk. Though I will fault that Rarity's solutions comes down more to her ability to use general magic. Then again, other than wrapping Canterlot in safety cushioning, I'm not sure how a fashionista could apply a solution. Twilight's own summons show how she's getting used to command. First thinking that an order means absolute authority, then trying to soften the summons because she's not a tyrant. To her credit, she hears the restored laughter and instantly understands the situation, leading to these summons. We're seeing a lot of the old Twilight that's been celebrated, especially in how she coordinates with her friends. The ruler Twilight Sparkle is still taking form. All this, however, is background noise, pun intended, to Pinkie and Cheese Sandwich's relationship. It makes sense that two ponies who express themselves through display rather than words have a hard time stating their feelings, and that the surest way for them to connect is through a comedy display. It's very sweet to witness Pinkie talking about how words get in the way, and I appreciate that, while this comic is overt in its describing situations, it doesn't rely on a melodramatic statement of love. Instead, they just state how their shared laughter is the greatest sound of all. No wonder Little Cheese is such a goofball. One might find the concept of laughter killing off the Muffletta as a bit contrived. Yet I would point back to the cutie pox, and a rare plant that only blossoms in the presence of truth. This is a world where emotion and intention carry genuine power, and I enjoy seeing how that is expressed even through the flora. I said before that romance is a journey. What we've witnessed here is a start. I don't know if the comics will continue to develop this relationship, or if we're just meant to assume that it will keep evolving to the known endpoint. Either way, I found this to be a sweet two-parter. The characters are fun, the conflict is high stakes, but not so threatening that Pinkie and Cheese's romance seems intrusive. We get a little bit of fleshing out for Twilight's role, but only in terms of an immediate crisis and her classic freakouts. Though she does seem much calmer once she understands the solution, without having to be told. I am glad that Discord was not the cause of this particular chaos. He was a red herring, but I'll take that over him causing a near apocalypse again. If you're not afraid of a little mushy stuff, then I think this two-parter is a delightful read, and well worth a fan's time. Though if Pinkie's love is expressed in means other than words, I wonder what that signifies for other ponies. Do a video on the love languages of the main six. Do it now. The power of shipping compels you. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters, whose help keeps these videos self-sustaining. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting After the Fact through Patreon or Ko-fi. Links are in the description. And thanks to these artists who gave their time and talent to draw my OC. If you have art you'd like to share, you can tag MLP-Silver-Quill on DeviantArt or Twitter. Links to each art piece and any fandom-made media are in the description as well. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.